You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Folks, I want to talk to you about Hampton Farms. Crack open Hampton Farms in-shell peanuts for the crunch you crave. Try salted, unsalted, and Cajun hot nuts with 7 grams of protein per serving. More than any other nut. Hampton Farm in-shell peanuts are 100% USA grown and a great snack for game day. Find us in the produce section of your local grocery store or online at hamptonfarms.com. Get nutty with Hampton Farms peanuts, the official snack nut of the tailgate.
Nah, not quite.
What's up?
Sell my car on Carvana. It's just not quite the right time.
Crazy coincidence. I just sold my car to Carvana.
What? I told you about it 2 days ago.
When you know, you know. You know? I'm even dropping it off at one of those sweet car vending machines and getting paid today.
That's a good deal.
Oh, great deal. Come on. What's your heart saying?
You're right. When you know...
You know.
Sold.
Whether you're looking to sell your car right now or just whenever feels right, go to Carvana.com and sell your car the convenient way. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Billy, why is your head in your hands? Did Stugotz just do something that brought sweeping shame over you? What just happened?
Nah, just, funny things are happening here.
Okay.
BTS situation, I can't get into it.
All right.
Here, it's a secret.
All right.
Why do you always think it's me, man?
Yeah.
I just assume that things that you are up to are, that the two of you, look.
Right. We're in cahoots.
Well, if you didn't see what was happening last segment, where Mike and Jess were doing a thing, and Billy and Stugotz were doing a different thing.
What were we doing?
Just your thing.
No, it's better than one thing?
Couple of things, cutting it up.
That's actually a different movie called Inception.
Oh my God!
They say about
that one's crazy. Do you know about Inception?
No. Which one is it? No, is that the one with Leo? Is he in that one?
Yeah.
Oh no. Isn't that like something moves sideways or something?
Yeah. Do you think the top is still spinning?
Are you happy, Dan?
Yes.
You know what they say about shows with two things?
Dianna Russini is on with us, and I've got a number of football things to talk to her about. One of them that we did not talk about enough yesterday is everything that happened with the Cleveland Browns and Deshaun Watson. That has been, in the history of transactions in the NFL, one of the most apocalyptic we have ever seen, if not the most apocalyptic. He tears his Achilles yesterday. What the Cleveland Browns have to show for one of the most controversial contracts ever given, and a groundbreaking guaranteed one, is somebody who is probably a sexual predator, credibly accused by so many women, going down on the field, tearing his Achilles, bringing mercy upon how bad a quarterback he has been for that franchise, and a franchise that made the playoffs last year by not having him around, and became worse the moment he came back, and then he gets injured, and Cleveland fans do what Cleveland fans are going to do, which is they boo him vigorously, then turning on him, not because of the sexual predating, because of the football. They finally turn on him. They rallied around him at the beginning. Us against the world, he's going to save us. And at the end, they boo him. And then his teammates gather around and make him the victim of something that is credibly accused to be made totally of his circumstances, because what's alleged is he could not keep his pants on in massages and was making a bunch of women do things they didn't want to do by being Deshaun Watson.
And now it's led to a ridiculous conversation about how fans should act when a guy gets injured, which is patently absurd. It really is. I don't care if the fans cheered for him on the way in. I don't care if they booed him when he got injured. The problem is not the fans. The problem, Dan, is Deshaun Watson and Jimmy Haslam. That is the problem.
Okay, but it's been the problem, and the league protecting everything there has been the problem since Deshaun Watson got back into the league, with many teams competing for his services. So Dianna Russini's on with us now. She's the senior NFL insider for The Athletic. Her podcast is climbing dangerously close to ours. I don't like it at all. Scoop City is the name of it, and I will start with you there. How did you absorb the entire macro conversation, societal and otherwise, as America has a gender fight on its hands headed into an election, of everything that happened in Cleveland on Sunday, the calamity from start to finish that includes his teammates rushing to his defense, because, of course, that's what football players are going to do, even though it is totally tone deaf.
Yeah, it certainly has been one of the harder stories to cover for sure, just because everything about it just feels, it just has this blemish of the backstory. And I still have a hard time understanding why Deshaun Watson has yet to even really talk to anyone, any media outlets, sit down with you guys, sit down with me, sit down with someone and maybe apologize, maybe talk about this journey for him. Because I think what's lacking here is any understanding of what it's been like for someone like him. We immediately are criticizing because we know of all these situations, right? Like you just painted the picture of what we've seen him go through. And he just hasn't shown remorse. And I think that's really been at the center of the problem. In terms of the fandom against him, things that I've always been told is, well, winning fixes everything. If they won, none of this would be a problem. They would be cheering for him and they would look past all these issues. And then we see when they don't win how the reaction is. And that booing, I know you said that has to do with football. I actually disagree with you. I think the booing was because I don't think Cleveland has ever wrapped their arms around Deshaun Watson. I don't think that situation was ever something the Browns fans really, truly were signing off on. I could also tell you there were people in that building that weren't always comfortable with that signing and with that contract and with how that all came together. It's why a lot of teams that were definitely in on him that wound up, losing because they weren't willing to give him that guaranteed money. There's another side of that story where I know teams that, yeah, they would love the Deshaun Watson quarterback that we saw in Houston, but they weren't comfortable with the situation and the things that he was being accused of. So look, I think, I spoke to Jimmy Haslam at the owners meeting last week and people associated with the Browns to just kind of get an understanding of how they are looking at the season. And, they always just say the same thing right now, which is it's not all on Deshaun. Everybody's got to be better. But this is also the same organization who decided not to bring Joe Flacco back, knowing that Deshaun Watson needed to be put in a space that was going to sort of give him that confidence that the organization was behind him without any distractions, without any competition. And now here we are.
But Dianna, that part's amazing, is it not? Like to think that even before this season, when he had proven to be a failure as a quarterback because he's been bad the entire way, you're still giving Deshaun Watson personnel power. Aaron Rodgers got run out of Green Bay for not having personnel power. Deshaun Watson gets to choose who his backup is, and it ruins their season?
The result of the contract is forced this team to try to put him in a lane to succeed at all times with no guardrails either at this point. So look, when they made that decision, there was a part of me that understood it. They need to make this work. They have to give Deshaun everything he needs to be successful. And if getting Joe Flacco out of there was going to help the psyche, I can see the argument. But if this organization wants to win,
but Dianna, the reason this one's so interesting to me, because you're talking about helping the organizational psyche, and this very clearly is a player who was great at quarterback in his athletic prime, who has been short-circuited and cannot play football because of whatever his life has been for the last 3 years. Again, not a victim of his own creation, of his own circumstance. We've rarely seen a player that this great short-circuit, at least in part, because he's been changed by the last 3 years of everyone knows, Stugotz, this part, the details. That dude at the center of the stadium likes to call women like they're Ubers and then put his ass up in the air and be like, here are my balls, do this and that, and like very aggressively using his power on women all over, allegedly, the area wherever he was to do this kind of preying on women.
Right.
And he's clearly, like, that contract feels like a selling of the soul that has short-circuited that entire fan base and franchise.
That's exactly what it is, but he's living.
It's what it is. I'm not arguing that this team made the right decision. That's not it. I'm trying to take you into the thinking of why they were doing it, of what the thought process was. Let's put aside the mental anguish that he's been through. And it sounds sympathetic. I don't mean it to be that way. It's more, what you just described, he's obviously struggled with life since this has happened. He is not the same player. So I called some coaches over the weekend, actually, that coached him in Houston when he was great. When we saw the Deshaun that we thought that Cleveland was trying to go after here, or at least they were expecting. And when you talk about his actual play, his football, what's wrong with him? What were you doing that Kevin Stefanski's not doing? Is that what this is? And a lot of it has to do with the relationship he had with that staff, the way they coached him, because he was in a mentally different state. So even the times where I want to make it about football and try to dig on the reporting side of how, is this a mechanic thing? Is he not clicking with Stefanski? Is the playbook too difficult? Are they running too many motions? What is it? In fact, they ran tons of motion with him when he was in Houston. That helped him. They did so much of what he did in Clemson, and they combined that with what they did in New England. It is similar but different in Cleveland, but he's not the same guy. He's not the same person. And I don't know what the Cleveland Browns are going to do to find that man again. And that man may be non-existent at this point.
Switching gears, last night, Tampa Bay had a really rough game. I know Mike Evans entered that game with a hamstring injury, re-aggravated it on a drop in the end zone that seemingly just flipped the entire game. And also, later in the game, as they're trying to climb back desperately into that game, Godwin goes out. And Godwin's such a terrific player for them, opens up so much. What do they do? Do they kind of capitulate on this season, or do they get aggressive in the trade market, considering the year Baker's had, and give themselves a chance?
Yeah, so just to give you a quick injury update on them. So Godwin he's getting an MRI actually right now, but he'll be getting surgery later this week on that. So we know what the situation is there. He's out. So then you have Mike Evans. He's also getting an MRI this morning. So we'll find out what the situation is and how long he'll be out. Obviously hamstrings, they're a pain in the butt, as we've seen all season long with these receivers. So yeah, do I think they're going to be buyers? Yeah. And that's the best part of the trade deadline right now is it's different than it was when I was on probably last week in terms of who's going to be buyers and sellers. Look at the San Francisco 49ers. They're a great example. They're going to be buyers and sellers trying to turn a season of just bad vibes around. It's every single day. But in regards to Tampa, yeah, I definitely expect them to try to find a receiver on the market that's available. Mike Williams with the New York Jets. He's gotten some interest from the Pittsburgh Steelers, from the Chargers, even the Saints, but the Saints are no longer, in on that. But you have DeAndre Hopkins in Tennessee. I know that there's been some teams keeping an eye on that one. And then I know the Kansas City Chiefs are 6-0, but I think it was pretty apparent that they're winning every single game in a different way. But they could use a receiver. So I'm expecting the Kansas City Chiefs to make a move between now and November 5th.
Dianna, I think you're ready for this. I'm a little wary of doing this.
What are you doing?
Well, I want Dianna to graduate to football commentary given in faster bursts for a short attention span society. We have to reach young people, and I need to get through more of her information quicker. So give me the music so that I can ask her more football questions, because we've been at this for 10 minutes, and we've only done 3 things, and there's a lot going on in football.
I talk too much.
No, I'm not saying that. Now I want you to talk faster.
Well, we started with an easy subject.
Yes, yes. Really.
Yeah, thank you. It was that was a delight. My shirt's only soaking wet.
Yes.
I can't do a flipper voice.
Mike, you have a question here. Get us started here, because Stugotz, we've got real chaos coming in the next 3 weeks when politics mix with sports even more than it just did.
Yeah, Dianna, the NFL trade deadline's on election day. They're not moving yet. Who came up with that idea? That seems like a bad idea.
Sounds like a bad idea. Am I doing this as me or as my mother, by the way?
I don't know.
As you.
You're just doing it quickly.
As your mother?
Just quick.
Wait, no. If
we're off to a bad start.
No.
I mean, they just wanted to move it back because they didn't make that adjustment last year when they added that game, and then they met in the offseason. We're like, oh, wait, we probably should push the trade deadline back because we've added a game, and that's why we're getting it this on that day because they wanted to do it on a Tuesday. So I don't think they really thought about the election part. They just wanted to make sure that they moved it 1 week ahead. But it should definitely keep it interesting.
Cooper Kupp, Kansas City Chiefs. Is there a chance?
If the Rams are willing to take on the salary I heard that they're willing to do, so they are definitely open to trading Cooper Kupp. So we'll see if they'll be able to get a deal done. I just don't think Kansas City has even enough money, even if the Rams were to take on some of that salary. That's been the problem and the reason why they haven't been able to go after a Devontae Adams, an Amari Cooper like we've seen other teams be aggressive with.
What do you make of the Jets?
Oh,
they stink.
How many teams can you say for sure are good in this league? Give me a number.
5.
Name them.
The Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Vikings, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow. Chiefs.
Ooh, the Ravens and
thank
Chiefs.
Thank you. The Chiefs and
Ravens.
And
Bengals.
the Ravens. Thank you.
Oh, you left
No
out
Bills.
the Bengals.
No Bills.
No Bills. No Bills.
No Bills yet. No, but I'm still too much on Josh Allen. But
Commies
I
in there?
still
Commies in there?
no, not yet. Next year.
The commies, not yet.
They have a good defense. and a
What's
good
wrong with the
quarterback.
commies?
Jaden
I don't like
Daniels
this.
hurt.
This is so fast. You're not even giving my brain a second to think. Why is it so close to my face? I don't want to be so close.
It was a follow-up that when I said name them. I'm sorry.
Diana, we need you to
Depending
get...
on election day, commies could also make a run this year.
Diana, we need you to graduate to more information faster.
Okay, go.
Shocking name that could get traded.
Cooper Kupp.
No, that's not shocking if we already established him. Give me a name I haven't heard.
Debo Samuel.
Oh! He's in the hospital.
He has pneumonia.
What do you make of Tua being defiant yesterday?
It's a sad story, and I don't know what side to pick because the guy just loves football. He doesn't know anything, but you have to be empathetic. This organization is sitting there going, we paid this guy. He's making this decision, and we're behind it. But my question for you is, why don't we criticize boxers and UFC fighters after they've gone under 5, 6, 7 concussions? We said, roll them back out there. But why are we being so critical of football players, Dan?
Apple picking, yes or no?
Trash. Worst fall activity. I'm over it. I'm never doing it again. My children picked up the apples off the ground that other people ate that animals probably pooped on and ate them. They're both home from school today sick.
Scoop City is the name of the podcast. She's the senior NFL insider for The Athletic. Excellent dismount. Next time, we're going to get you to move the microphone with you because that was visually beautiful. Like, it was wonderful.
But off mic, yeah.
Sonically, it sounded like you were talking to us from the bathroom.
Yeah, but that's okay.
You crushed it.
You
Enough.
did. You crushed it. I want to keep speeding it up on her. Nice work, Diana. Thank you for being on
Debo
with us.
Samuel on it.
Yes, he's in the
But he's in the hospital.
He's going to be traded while in
fluid
the
in the
hospital.
lungs.
Yes.
I mean,
that sport. Stugotz just got the 4th headline on ESPN.com, and it was Ayuk tears MCL and ACL, Debo in the hospital.
Weird year.
I mean, the 49ers.
Things are weird there.
Look, anytime in the last 5 years, the answer to that question, a team you know is good, is the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
I'm still going to be taking them on a road playoff game. I just get the feeling.
Really?
Yeah. We're going to have the conversation. They may mix and match parts, but they're getting healthy at the right time.
Oh.
Folks, I want to talk to you about Hampton Farms. Crack open Hampton Farms in-shell peanuts for the crunch you crave. Try salted, unsalted, and Cajun hot nuts with 7 grams of protein per serving. More than any other nut. Hampton Farm in-shell peanuts are 100% USA grown and a great snack for game day. Find us in the produce section of your local grocery store or online at hamptonfarms.com. Get nutty with Hampton Farms peanuts, the official snack nut of the tailgate.
All right, folks, it's Mike Ryan. Need to talk to you about Game Time. For my money, the best secondary ticket marketplace there is. And now with basketball season right around the corner, they're playing preseason games. We got regular season NBA right there. You can feel it in the air. You want to be at those games. The sights, the sounds, the celebrities. I get it. So why don't you use Game Time to find your NBA ticks? And now Game Time has this new exciting feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets. With Game Time Picks, it helps to make curation easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. All in pricing too, folks. You click a little button and there are no surprises at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DAN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DAN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. Hey everyone, it's Mike Ryan. We here at the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz are excited to partner with Miller Lite to let you, our loyal audience, play along with one of our most popular segments we have, Weekend Observations, presented by Miller Lite. On October 21st, you will be able to go to DraftKings.com in order to make guesses on what will happen during the Weekend Observations segment on Tuesday, October 29th. How many beeps will there be? Will Stugotz swear? Who will be the first person to interrupt Stu? Oh, the winner? Yeah, the winner gets a trip for you and a guest to come to Miami and hang out with us at Flanagan's for a Thursday night football game on November 21st. Oh, and you get to see a taping of the show. Make sure you go to DraftKings and play free to win. And then tune into the show and check how you did. Look forward to seeing you. Or not, since only one of you will win. But the one that does, it's going to be fun. Make sure to enter. Must be 21 plus to enter. Eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Dan Le Batard.
I want to talk about a team that I actually want to see come playoff time. I want to see the Chiefs.
Stugotz.
I want Patrick Mahomes strolling into my stadium with max confidence. I want Travis Kelce. I want Taylor Swift. I want the team that lost to Jordan Love. I want the team that lost to Aiden O'Connell. I want the team that trailed 17-0 to Jake Browning. That is the team that I would like to face in the playoffs. That's the team, indeed, that I would want to face in the playoffs because that team is not very good.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Let's do Stugotz's weekend observations on a Tuesday.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, just 96 calories, available for delivery. Dan, last week, he flew to Los Angeles to hobnob with politicians via Zoom and get us ready for the upcoming LA Clippers season. He probably wanted to stay. I mean, what could possibly be more fun than planning for the apocalypse with Adam McKay? But once he realized what's going on in the NFC North, he knew his days were numbered. He knew he had to return. And Dan, just like that, make no mistake about it, you are back.
Big sit down with Sedano.
You had more than that.
No, just went down there and did an 8-episode podcast sitting down with Jorge Sedano.
Speaking of back, Marcus Mariota. And tonight, the NBA is back.
Oh, Bronny and LeBron are going to be on the court at the same time. Syrupy story. No, Chris says Bronny's not playing. Didn't Adam Schefter report that Bronny and LeBron are going to get minutes together? Was it a fake Schefter account or a real Schefter account?
Hey, darn. I don't know. Tonight's not about the association, though. We can do that for tomorrow. Tonight's about Frozen Frenzy. Yeah. Every NHL team in action.
I'm sorry.
And Vice Night.
But the NBA is back, right? I mean,
yeah, but it's Frozen Frenzy time.
Okay. Taj Gibson is a Hornet. I love a good hobnob.
I can't believe both basketball and hockey are already back. Jessica, you look like you're about to get slaughtered by sports.
I'm not ready for more Knicks.
With baseball. She's got to watch baseball this weekend,
the
too.
Mets lost, my God.
Were you surprised that Taj Gibson was still playing?
I wasn't, but only because Thibodeau resurrected him last year.
Okay.
I should say.
But he's a Hornet now.
I should say I am surprised that someone other than Thibodeau has signed Taj Gibson.
I'm starting to think Rob Saleh wasn't the problem. I hate them. A tale as old as time. Kawhi Leonard out indefinitely to start the NBA season. I mean, seriously with this guy.
We apparently got down to the bottom of it. Dan got ball sacked.
Oh.
No.
That's a chug.
Unless I got ball sacked about your ball sack.
Damn
Possible.
it. Damn it.
That's Ballsack Inception.
Wow.
The Griffies are supposed to be there tonight.
Really?
Yeah, to watch it happen.
That's cool.
The ball sacking?
Isn't the ball sack already kind of like incepting the
It
balls?
is. And sometimes it actually goes inside you. That's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
You get up
True.
off the couch, like it's, whoa.
Stuck in
Did I
there.
get up too fast?
Yeah.
Is this in my, where is this? Do I have an ovary now?
Mm-hmm.
Damn you, Schefter, spelled differently.
Unfollow it, man.
Well, did it have a blue check?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. It's easy, real easy to follow system they got over there.
Yep. Can't blame Texas for losing to Georgia. They were probably looking ahead to Vanderbilt.
What joy would you get from that, Ballsacker and Schefter? What joy? You tricked me. You made
That's the joy.
You made
Yeah.
father and son. You made a father and son play minutes together tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Asshole.
Georgia.
You can still win this one. Like, you still have to play.
Right. Georgia. Do it against Alabama. Tennessee. Do it against Vanderbilt. Also, act like you've been there before. I mean, you cannot win a national championship and storm the field and try to take the goalpost out of the stadium. You can't do it. If you've ever won a national championship, you can't do it. You can't. Sorry.
John Oliver had a great bit on the local news in Vanderbilt of people legitimately confused. Why is the celebration something where you steal the goalposts and take it to the river? Like, all the local anchors were like, what kind of way is that to celebrate anything?
We've gotten down to the bottom of this. Apparently, the Schefter thing is confusing us a little bit, but there is a hint from Brian Windhorst, Jess.
He said, I would expect, as long as the game is going okay, be in your seat at the start of the second quarter.
Wow.
This is a good time for the mumbling insider.
I don't know. Should we look into it?
He's right.
We're still developing the character.
Should we know that? I mean,
it's
a specific time.
Did I get ball sacked or did I not?
Well, it depends. You saw an Adam Schefter tweet? Because I can't find the Adam Schefter tweet.
But it'd be fake Schefter.
Right.
You can't find that
Well,
either?
it wasn't real Schefter because I just scrolled back to yesterday. But I could be looking at a different Schefter. So
I'm going to look it up right now.
All right.
Yeah, that should help.
Texas, welcome to the SEC. Kirby Smart saying nobody believed in us. Kirby, you're Georgia. Everybody believes in you. Patty Mills, Utah Jazz. Miami's best player is the ACC Command Center.
Dan, while you're looking that up, can you find out where I can find a special of the Carrier Dome?
Yeah.
I've been
It's not the Carrier Dome.
2 weeks on this.
Yeah.
I can't find anything.
I'm going to get that for you right now.
Kalen DeBoer destroying what Nick Saban built over 17 years in just 7 games. Dan, you know what the D in DeBoer stands for?
I do not.
Destroying what Nick Saban built over 17 years. All it took for the Yankees to make it back to the World Series was Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and Garrett Cole.
They're not exactly a lovable underdog.
No.
But all the Dodgers did was get Ohtani.
Yeah. They have 3 MVPs.
It's ridiculous. Stanton is Babe Ruth, and he's by far the third best of those hitters.
Yep. Before Friday, Duke was 0-22 all-time against Florida State. You know what that means, right, Dan?
I don't.
They were due.
Woof.
If the season ended today, Spags is the NFL MVP. All this time, we thought Kyle Shanahan's dad was Mike Shanahan. Turns out, all along, it was Spags. Kyle Shanahan, blah, blah, blah. Brock Purdy, blah, blah, blah. Joe Ingles, T-Wolf. How about that?
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Shocking, right?
And who is that?
Joe Ingles.
Tall guy.
From down under.
Looks a bit out of shape. Has the hair a bit combed over. Looks old. You don't understand
Matt Harpring?
how the game is that good.
Matt Harpring was good.
Are you
Pat Garrity?
Are you sure he's Australian?
Joe Ingles?
I think Joe Ingles is.
Australian, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to get that wrong.
He's on my all-time Australia team.
Really?
Yeah.
Who else is?
Andrew Gaze. Kyrie.
Andrew Bogut.
Thank you for the help. How'd you know? I've told you this before.
You had a top 5 Australia team you put together many years ago.
Huh. Interesting. For those keeping track at home, Mike Norvell should spell his last name with 6 L's. Stash this away in the Something to Ponder file. Is Lamar Jackson going to be this generation's Peyton Manning?
What does that mean?
I mean, just a guy, Tom Brady won all the Super Bowls. Peyton only won one, then he won a second one in Denver, but had nothing to do with it. My fear is Lamar is going to be blocked from winning any Super Bowls because he's playing at the same time as Patrick Mahomes.
And he's going to have a younger brother named Eli Jackson win the same amount to confuse the math.
A nephew named Arch.
Don't look now, but Indiana is 7-0. The Hoosiers. Indiana, more like Windiana. Lincoln Riley, fraud. USC, do it outside of the Pacific time zone. Lincoln Riley couldn't do it in the Big 12, didn't want to do it in the SEC, and can't do it in the Big 10. Lincoln Riley, Arizona Cardinals, offensive coordinator, collision course. Celtics coach Joe Mazzulla said he doesn't feel pressure to maximize the Celtics window because, quote, we're all going to be dead soon, and it really doesn't matter. Mazzulla, the Dan Le Batard, is strong in you. The big nap. Who says that? Does it matter?
It's a bit nihilistic, but we are all going to be dead soon. He's a really unusual champion in that he seems to have a great deal of perspective about where he is in the world compared to how sports matter.
You would think that.
Right. Dan Le Batard is strong in him. Harrison Barnes, San Antonio Spurs. Shocking. I know, Mike. I know. I can only see him in a Carolina jersey or Sacramento Kings. I know. The association. Where was I? Anything 4 yards or longer is considered third and long for Iowa. When Iowa's at 3rd and 4, they go 5 wide. All 5 wide receivers go exactly 4 yards. Every Juan Soto playoff home run adds $50 million to his contract this offseason. Taylor. Juan Soto, Brinks truck, collision course. Taylor. If you ever compared Emmanuel Class A to Mariano Rivera this season, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, what you're doing there is so bad. What you're doing there is so wrong.
What?
The guy allows 1 run all season and then self-destructs in the playoffs, and you were only paying attention during the playoffs. You did not see a game he pitched this year.
When it counts, Dan.
Yeah, agreed.
October.
At the end of that series, I'm like, don't bring him in at any situations late.
How about we stop comparing guys to Mariano Rivera?
Statistically, he was.
No, he wasn't.
For half a season, he allowed a run.
Right. When you look at his hand, is there a ring on it? I mean, right.
All right.
I think he did put up a picture with a bunch of rings on it.
He did?
World Series.
All-star rings.
Yeah.
They were all-star rings. That's when you know you're not Mariano Rivera. When you're flashing all-star game rings. I mean, what are you doing? He's got World Series rings.
It's so wrong of you to criticize when you did not watch a Guardian inning this
I don't even know who he is.
I know you don't.
He's a pitcher?
He was so good this year.
Random baseball thoughts from the golf course on a gummy. Todd Helton should have won the MVP in 2000. Led the National League in hits, WAR, RBIs. He batted .372. Unfortunately, he also led the league in Coors Field.
That helps.
What a season for Helton. The 94 Tennessee quarterback room was special. Helton, Peyton Manning, 2 Hall of Famers. How about that? Huh?
Is Todd Helton a Hall of Famer?
He is, of course. Is Todd Helton a Hall of Famer?
It took him a bit, but I think he did get in.
He finished 5th that season in MVP voting.
Coors Field, yeah.
Didn't Dante Bichette have a season where he finished top 5
good.
just because
So
he
good.
played in Denver? Like, that's such a great advantage. Thin air.
Yeah. Dan, you lead the NL in hits, WAR, RBIs, and bat 372, and you finished 5th in the MVP voting.
Well, everyone was on steroids.
Coors Field.
No, but he was at Coors Field, and the other 4 guys are all going to be steroid guys.
Jeff Kent won that year, who led the league in getting batting protection from Barry Bonds.
Bichette finished second in 1995 to Barry Larkin.
Wow. Larkin had no business winning that.
He had like 40 RBIs that season.
Hit 66. What was he good at that year?
He's just playing
How good was his average?
What were Bichette's numbers?
No, look at what. Look, if you want to go back in time when everyone was doing the math all wrong, go ahead and go put Barry Larkin's MVP season against Bichette's and laugh. I want you to put those 2 seasons next to each other.
So Barry Larkin that season, 15 home runs, 66 RBIs, 319 batting average, 886 OPS. What? Then Dante Bichette, 40 home runs, 128 RBIs, 340 batting average, 984 OPS.
That can't be real. It feels like an Alex Gonzalez year.
That's so good.
It was so funny.
It's a different time.
No, it wasn't just a different time. It's the steroids guys against the thin air guys. Who's got the biggest advantage?
5.9 WAR for Barry Larkin, 1.2 for Dante Bichette.
I think it was Coors.
Larkin was clean. I like.
That's
have
what
to
it
believe.
was.
That's what clean numbers look like.
I
Yes.
have to believe.
That was 95. It was before anyone knew, right?
That's correct. But yes, and if you look at the next few seasons, all you will see at the top of all of these distorting numbers is steroids.
Or Coors Field. Yep. Aaron Judge, do it in the World Series. Shohei Ohtani, do it in the World Series. Baseball's 2 biggest stars in its 2 biggest markets. Congratulations to the real winners, Major League Baseball. It's going to be a fun World Series.
You're going to care.
It's for the whole ball of wax. The Fall Classic. If the Dodgers win the World Series, it doesn't count for Clayton Kershaw in my personal record book. StugottsBook.com. He's done nothing. Nothing. Army, the rare team that plays so hard for the name on the front of the jersey that they put it on the back, too. Thank you for your service. If Notre Dame ruins either Navy or Army's perfect seasons, they should be charged for treason.
I agree. Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Batard Show. If Notre Dame ruins both Army and Navy season, should they be charged with treason?
DeMar DeRozan, Sacramento King. Did you know that?
Yeah,
he chose them over Miami.
No, he didn't.
That's why
Miami
Mike knows that.
No one chooses
Yeah,
Sacramento.
Miami had a competitive offer, and it was up to DeRozan, and he picked Sacramento. Culture.
I'd be more likely to vote Notre Dame into the playoffs if they lose to Army and Navy. That's a sacrifice, Dan. I like sacrifice.
Do it for your country, Notre Dame.
Not enough is made out of people shelling thousands of dollars out for the Army-Navy game, only for that game to be meaningless, potentially. It's not even the most meaningful Army-Navy game.
Because they'll announce the playoff already.
Well, and they're going to play in the conference championship game. If they both win out.
The last time the Patriots lost 6 straight games, the Jaguars did not exist. It's amazing. I love pointing out when a punter might have outkicked his coverage.
You love saying it like
I'm listening.
So as the as the punt returner,
I see the punt go. I see the returner. I tell my wife Abby that they have outkicked the coverage, and it just feels good.
You say that to your television too, as well, Chris Cody. Do you do that?
I always do that, Dan.
Seems like the Falcons start every game down 10-0. Thank you. New York Jets, quarterback away. Devontae Adams. You could have played with Josh Allen. Amari Cooper, instant dividends. Stat of the day, the Steelers have had 3 head coaches in 55 years. The Jets have had 2 in the last 2 weeks. I hate them. The Jets could win a Super Bowl with Justin Fields.
Chuck Knox.
Bill Cowherd.
Don't look now, but Russell Wilson just might be playing himself back into the Hall of Fame. Does any quarterback have less of a right to complain than Daniel Jones? Danny Dimes. More like Danny Wines. College game day. Stealing. If the season ended today from us, after we did it with Reese Davis 5 days earlier, college game day, all of you, the entire production, the Stugotz is strong in you.
Whoa, you're taking out the whole production?
I mean, I love those guys. Jonathan Wiley, Reese Davis, Kirk, Pat. I love all of them, but they stole our idea. I mean,
I think Wiley's behind those amazing Saban inside the game segments.
He's so good.
Killing it.
Wiley's
Wiley's
good.
one of the best producers.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. I ran into him in Cal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's doing great. He said hello.
All right. Well, tell him I said hi.
Okay.
Next time you see him.
Hopefully Charlotte.
Peyton and Eli receiving all the credit for Arch, even though neither of them is his father. Collision course. East Carolina fired their head coach after a 3-4 start. The AD said they were expecting better. They were. He also said, we have high expectations. They do? The Pirates.
I have given up on trying to find that Schefter story, and I've given up on trying to find that Carrier Dome television show. Somebody in the audience, please send. They don't believe me. I know I saw at the beginning of a season of architectural amazing things, 15 minutes on the Carrier Dome. I know I saw it. I know I did. I'm not making that up. Why would I be making that up?
It'd be an odd thing to make up.
It was on Max, and it was as part of what's happened with Discovery. It wasn't a Max show, it was a Discovery show. Somebody help me here.
Wide receivers are dropping like flies.
They really are.
Hell is going on. Speaking of hell, Art Briles. Dan, those are the weekend observations.
Is Bronny playing with LeBron tonight? Yes or no? And we can talk about
start of the second quarter.
We can talk about hockey as well because the Panther season has quietly started at the top of the standings.
He may be, but you still got ball sacked.
And then you got ball sacked by his ball sack.
Don't say that again, please.
Hey everyone, it's Mike Ryan. We here at the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz are excited to partner with Miller Lite to let you, our loyal audience, play along with one of our most popular segments we have, Weekend Observations, presented by Miller Lite. On October 21st, you will be able to go to DraftKings.com in order to make guesses on what will happen during the Weekend Observations segment on Tuesday, October 29th. How many beeps will there be? Will Stugotz swear? Who will be the first person to interrupt Stu? Oh, the winner? Yeah, the winner gets a trip for you and a guest to come to Miami and hang out with us at Flanagan's for a Thursday night football game on November 21st. Oh, and you get to see a taping of the show. Make sure you go to DraftKings and play free to win. And then tune into the show and check how you did. Look forward to seeing you. Or not, since only one of you will win. But the one that does, it's going to be fun. Make sure to enter. Must be 21 plus to enter. Eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. See DraftKings.com for details.
Bada boom, sold.
Huh?
Just sold my car on Carvana. Dropping it off and getting paid today.
Already?
What, you still haven't sold yours? You told me about it months ago.
Is
the offer good?
Oh, the offer's great.
Don't have another car yet?
I could trade it in for this car I love.
Come on, what are we waiting for?
You're right.
Let's go.
Whether you're looking to sell your car right now or just whenever feels right, go to Carvana.com and sell your car the convenient way. Terms and conditions apply.